I'll make a motion to approve the agenda,
Any changes to that, though?
other than making a note that 9:45 and 10 o'clock are the same.
Yes, thank you. Got a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, got a second from Holmes. All in favor, say aye. Huh, they are not?
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I apologize. Swifco has a presentation.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
I apologize.
Yes, that's my bad.
I'm sorry, my bad. Okay,
Well,
well,
I'll cancel my motion to make any changes. Yeah, forget that.
all right, so we got a motion to approve the original agenda and a second over here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. If we could stand to do the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, time for the board reorganizational meeting. We have a 12-point resolution in front of us to consider this morning. And what we have done traditionally in past boards is we've had a gentleman's agreement on who the chair is going to be, who the vice chair is going to be. If we need some discussion to change that to a vote, we can do that. I think the resolution, as it's written, has me as the chair for the upcoming year and Alan as the vice chair. If that's not suitable, you want to do a vote, we can do that. Typically, that's how we've done it.
I just want to put Alan take a turn, or was that this year?
I will be chairman next year,
Okay.
if you guys allow. So,
I just want to think since Chuck was last year, I don't know if you'd want to be this next year or not.
no, not particularly. I thought since we had so many things going on that he was in charge of, it might just be simpler to keep the ball rolling in the same direction.
Okay,
So,
that's fine with me.
So, yeah, some work has been done with some TIF attorneys if we do any TIFing this year. So,
Okay, sounds good.
okay. So, Melissa, do you have the packet? Or I didn't print my packet. Do you have your packet
of,
of the resolutions?
I don't know if I printed that or not. No, I did not. No, apologize.
Do you want to lead us through, if you've got a copy there, Melissa, please? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry? Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
All right, so the next resolution is, the first one was regarding the chair, so that was to Chuck Morris as chairman and then Alan as vice chairman. Resolution 2 is whereas under section 569.7 of the Code of Iowa, the Board of Supervisors may appoint one of its members to execute and acknowledge for and on behalf of the county leases and deeds of conveyance. Therefore, it be resolved by the Board of Supervisors that the chairman of the board is hereby appointed to purchase property, execute and acknowledge for and on behalf of the county all deeds of conveyance and leases which said instruments, when issued and executed, shall be approved by the Board of Supervisors under Code 569.7, and the vice chair may sign in the absence of the chair. Resolution number 3, it basically authorizes that the county auditor is hereby authorized to issue checks to make the following payments without prior approval for fixed charges, including but not limited to freight, express, postage, water, light, telephone services, or contractual services after a bill is filed with the auditor. For salaries and payroll, if the compensation has been fixed or approved by the board, the salary or payroll shall be certified by the officer or supervisor under which direction or supervision the compensation is earned. So it does allow the county auditor is empowered and instructed to issue checks for such purposes in accordance with section 331, 506, 3A and B of the Code of Iowa. Resolution number 4 allows that the assessor shall be authorized to mail homestead, military, and family farm exemption forms to eligible applicants. upon written request of the applicant according to section 425.2, 427.6, and 425A of the Code of Iowa. Resolution number 5 sets the legal holidays observed by the Page County Courthouse for employees for year 2021. That's New Year's Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, and the day after, Christmas Eve, because Christmas falls over a holiday, Friday, December 24th, and then Christmas on Monday, December 27th. Resolution number 6 sets the utilities. The board received and examined and approved the taxable utilities, and the county auditor is hereby directed to put the same amount on the tax books for this year for 2020 payable and 21-22, and those totaled $52,972,236 for this fiscal year. And resolution number 7 states that there will be no dog licenses issued and no fees charged. Number 8 sets the official papers for the county. Currently, right now, we have the Clarinda Herald Journal listed, Ethics Independent, and Valley News Today on number 8. Number 9 designates the county engineer, and it says J.D. King is hereby designated, and is hereby designated, authorized, and empowered on behalf of the Board of Supervisors to execute the certification of completion of work and final acceptance with plans and specifications, therefore, in connection with all farm-to-market construction projects in the county through December 31st, 2021. Number 10 has all of the board assignments on there. Do you want me to read through this and then you guys, is it okay if I read through all of these and then you have
and then we
discussion at
can-
the end?
Sure, yeah, that would be
Okay.
good. Yeah.
So resolution number 10 currently right now has all the board assignments. It has Clarinda, Cluster DCAT, Chuck Morris, Alternative, Jacob Holmes, Fourth Judicial, Department of Correction Services, Alan Armstrong, Alternative, Jacob Holmes, Gold Hills, Jacob Holmes, Alternative, Alan Armstrong, Human Services Council, Chuck Morris, Alternative, Alan Armstrong, Hungry Canyons, Jacob Holmes, Alternative, Alan Armstrong, Juvenile Detention, Jacob Holmes, Alternative, Alan Armstrong, Lowe's Hill would be Jacob Holmes, E911, Jacob Holmes, Page County Emergency Services, Chuck Morris, Page County Enterprise Zone Commission, Alan Armstrong, Page County Landfill, Jacob Holmes, Alternative, Alan Armstrong, Page County Loss Control Coordinator for Liability Insurance, Alan Armstrong, Page County Mental Health MR Coordinating Board, all 3 supervisors, RPA, which is Regional Planning Authority, that is Alan Armstrong, Alternative, Jacob Holmes. Southwest Iowa Mental Health Regional Planning is Chuck Morris, Alternative, Jacob Holmes. Southwest Iowa Planning Council, Alan Armstrong, Alternative, Jacob Holmes. Wabanzi would be Chuck Morris, Alternative, Jacob Holmes. West Central would be Alan Armstrong, Alternative, Jacob Holmes. Workforce Investment Act, Alan Armstrong, Alternative, Chuck Morris. Zion would be Chuck Morris, Alternative, Alan Armstrong. Resolution number 11 basically sets out the procedures if the Board of Supervisors wishes to adopt a construction evaluation resolution relating to the construction of a confinement feeding operation structure. That's usually do you want me to read that entire one or is that?
Not
regarding
necessarily.
that? Okay. And then number 12 is setting of appointments and reappointments. This is the different board appointments, so this will need discussion as well as to who you appoint where.
Okay.
And if you, usually in the past, you've just approved all of them after you've had discussion on them.
Okay, so I think really the 2 discussion points, correct me if you have an addition, would be on number 10 and on number 12. So the list that you read, Melissa, is different than the list that I have here, but I think it.
Updated from last year, we didn't have anything you guys.
Okay. So I think the questions that we had a few weeks ago, does this list solve that for you?
What list?
The list of
That she just read?
the county.
I just
supervisor.
want it the same as John had, what I want. is what I think I got to after all the research a couple weeks ago.
So this list, what did you have for the landfill association on your list?
Are you referring to me?
Yes, to you, please.
So on here for the landfill, I have Jacob Hope, alternative Alan Armstrong.
That would be one I would consider, if Jacob would allow, I would consider liking to switch, just because of involvement of Shenandoah with the landfill, probably heavier than the other side. I know John's reasoning was he lives so close, he was chairman for several years. Jerry Sharp is chairman, I believe, this year. So that takes care of that. That would be the one I would consider, I would like to consider being on, if you're interested.
Well, it's all new to me. Nothing's new to me.
And the only reason, Jacob, is the city of Shenandoah is kind of in a unique spot. Ours is not, you know, we have a different company that owns, and there's a lot of discussion every month in the city side that I try to stay involved in regarding our trash company is a little different than the one over in Prenda side. And they do what they call where they're just a station. Transfer station, and it's a real concern for the landfill board to make sure that everything stays status quo, and that's where, you know, Dick Hunt and myself and AJ have been very involved, making sure they don't step out of the boundaries of their rules. So
Now their board, each little town sends a board member
each
basically.
town has a person on it. There's one supervisor that sits in.
Right.
So yeah, I think there was 12 at the last meeting I was at.
I've actually had a couple people call me this last week, really wanting me to stay on that. I don't know what were you wanting to train for that?
You know, I guess, I don't know, I'm trying to think what else that I was trying to find that original.
Well, let me interject this, that I'm fine with all mine with just one exception, and that's the Wabansie, the conflict of interest that I've noted. I would put that on the table for when you guys consider if we're doing any swapping.
And if you're interested in taking that, Jake, and I could be your alternate on that, Jacob, and you could be my alternate on the landfill. So if there's a conflict where I can't go, because that's an evening meeting at times, and sometimes evenings are, I can have conflicts with either SWIPCO or
Which is an evening meeting, the landfill?
the landfill has been.
When does Wabansie meeting?
Well, Wabansie meets at 1:30 on the last Tuesday of the month. So it makes, for, you know, it's on a board day, but it meets in Clarinda. And again, if that doesn't work, I'll keep it, but I'm kind of uncomfortable because in the mental health world, they provide the crisis stabilization house, which is a core requirement of the region, and the funding gets a little weird there, and I have to recuse. And I feel like when I'm at those meetings, I'm hearing strategy that both ways. I just don't feel comfortable.
Right, no, it makes sense. I don't know.
The other comment about the landfill, I mean, we lost a lot of experience with John. The landfill is probably one of our more complex ones, not that either one of you couldn't do it, but it's gonna take some real time because of the bonds that exist between the county and the landfill and the arrangement on health insurance, et cetera. But that's up to you guys. Whatever you think. I know, and is there anything, let me put it this way, is there anything on your list that you've looked at and you think, I really don't want, or might not be as interested in?
I don't know. I'll see, most of mine kind of applies to things I like, so.
The reason I asked the juvenile detention
Yeah,
meeting, is that of interest to you?
I think it sounds kind of interesting. On that landfill deal, I want to think about that. I've had a few people that are from the little towns really want me to do that, so that's what's holding me up, is just swapping gallons. They want me to go ahead and do it
And if that's something, you know, too, Jacob, if there's somebody that's got something special on that agenda at that time and they want you there, we can switch out. We don't have to be there every meeting. We can switch, unless you're an officer, you're not really required, so.
What is what are you thinking about on your list here? I'll look
Of
here.
giving up?
Yeah,
Well, I don't have my, is that something you can print out, that one?
Here,
Just because I tried to write it and I couldn't keep up with it. She's gonna, oh, okay.
There's a copy.
let's see here.
Okay, this is the original, what she just read?
Well, no, there's some changes on
Okay,
what
let me have, because she had some, yeah, let
Can
me.
you print to me what you've read so we've got the same list, please?
Yeah, if you can print a couple of copies, so, because I tried to make notes and I just couldn't keep up. You read too fast. Okay.
Do you have the copy that she read, Jacob?
Yes, I actually have last year's, I just got for example, which is the same. I'm just reading over last year's, and it matched up. Oh, let's see here.
You know, the Page County Enterprise Zone Commission, I've never been invited to a meeting in 3 years, so that's one that's not really there.
And the Page County Mental Health, Disability Coordinating Board, all three supervisors.
Yeah.
That no longer really
Yeah,
exists.
yeah. If you wanted to, the RPA planning, if you want to go along with those, Jacob, we could switch on that. I could be your alternate. That's one where JD and, we meet up in Red Oak every quarter, JD?
Yes, minimum.
Minimum of a quarter, and, that would be one that would tie more in with the county road system, which you might find just as interesting. You know, the Workforce Investment Act, I think that would be best if that stays with myself, just because how many employees do you have? You know, that's probably more geared toward employment. You know, I don't have a lot of expertise in that, but I probably maybe have a little bit more than,
Right.
so.
Well,
And then the Hungry Canyons, that does include the WMA, which is not listed on this, and you're also a part of, correct, JD?
Yes.
So there's another one, Jacob, you're gonna have through Hungry Canyons, it's not even on here.
Okay.
And that's another quarterly, sometimes more often. So the WMA is the Watershed Management Authority, and that's handled out of Golden Hills, but it's separate from, correct, JD?
Correct.
It's a division.
The coordinator who's under contract for a specified length of time works out of the Golden Hill.
Right.
Fairmont.
Yeah. Now, there were times where John had a conflict with something else where I'd have to do the WMA, which is why I was his alternate. And that would be continued. So,
Well, landfill meets when, once a month?
once a month, yeah,
And it's in the evening.
yeah. And like I said, if there's something that you feel that you need to be there to voice or listen to, I think we could gladly switch back and forth. I don't have a problem with that. And you said the Wabansie Mental Health, Chuck?
Yeah, if I could get somebody.
What time of the day is that one?
At 1:30.
Okay, I could take that one if you want the Fourth Judicial. That's only quarterly. If you want to switch, we can do
Oh.
that.
Yeah, that would
You
be.
know, that's right now is Zoom, but at a time it'll be back up in Council Bluffs.
And Wabansie has been kind of a combination. It's been in person the
Yeah,
last few
yeah,
times.
so,
The RPA exactly is what, planning what, again, roads or what was the?
yeah. JD, pardon?
What's the RPA authority again?
Okay,
Or whatever.
you asked me about Wabansie Mental Health and
That's for what are they for?
Fourth Judicial.
It's where they allocate federal money, federal road money, has to go through them. Regional planning authority is 4 counties, and cities above 5,000.
Chuck will do Fourth Judicial.
Bring off the page, Montgomery.
Yeah, we can leave the alternates the same. Yep.
No, I suppose.
Does that sound okay?
I guess that kind of makes sense, but
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if this landfill's a big complex thing to do, you know, in 2 years if you retire or something.
Yeah.
You know, it
yeah.
might be,
Well, and it can be next year, we can switch off.
it might be good to get the going on, if it takes
Yeah.
forever to figure it out.
Sure. Well, why don't
That's
we,
my only withdrawal on that.
why don't we do that? We'll switch you and I on the RPA. You'll be the lead and I'll be your alternate. So if something comes up and you can't go, and then we'll do the same on the landfill. We'll just swap us. And then if you hear of something that's going on, we can switch that evening. Or if I've got a conflict where I can't be there on that Thursday, you can go for me. That work?
I think I just talked to some people on that landfill deal, so I'm kind of going back on that a little bit. And Elaine thought I should do the landfill too, so that's what's kind of.
Well, as we stated in the meeting the other day, actually the landfill's customers are the cities.
Right, well, most of those towns, even though they're little, are all in the rural district, in all of
They
those
are,
towns.
but they have their own funding. I mean, it's not like it's coming out of the rural basic funding. It's coming out of the city budgets.
Well, if we're gonna talk about it next year anyway, how about I try it a year, I'll just try landfill a year, and maybe we'll switch that RPA for landfill next year. And just leave it alone just like it was working, so. Maybe do that, I don't know. And then maybe swap it, because a lot of these little towns have reached out to me, and I just hate to not listen, so.
Well, we could, if we can't decide, then could we vote on the landfill as a single item here? Or do you want to agree, or? I personally think the landfill, I like Alan's idea for a couple of reasons, and I've had some people reach out and ask me to have Alan on the landfill too. So, but
And John, and that's kind of, and I don't like to say somebody asked me too, but John was concerned because of the issues going on in Shenandoah with that waste management. He wanted to make sure somebody that was.
Well, how about this on the Shenandoah, when they're talking about that, if you're the alternate, you can go make that pitch that night. If they're having a Shenandoah issue, then you can go
Okay.
sit there for that, that's unfair.
Oh, that's true too. I could do that.
For any Shenandoah issue.
I could keep an eye on with Jay, Dick, and AJ, and if they need me there, I'll
Because
let
you
you
would know
know.
more about that than I would on
Sure,
Shenandoah.
yes,
this
I have
year.
a feeling, yeah. So, that's fair enough, Jacob.
Just leave it the same as it is
okay,
and try a year.
so what,
Okay, so switch back, just leave that and RPA the same.
and the RPA will be Alan. Okay.
And maybe sometime I'll take a
Mhm.
trip to RPA and see what that is.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
I think being open to looking at this every year is a positive thing. So, because all of these things are because of the taxpayer, and we, having more knowledge and cross-training is not bad. Okay, so does that settle that?
I think so.
Are you back to square one there?
So for clarification, the only thing you're changing is
Fourth.
Wabansie
Yeah, well,
from
Bonzie and
Chuck to
Ford.
Allen.
Yep.
And then Fourth Judicial from Allen to Chuck,
Yep.
correct?
Yep. Okay, and then to the appointments, let's get that back up. All right. So, Board of Health, we had 2 applications. Iowa code requires a physician, prescribing physician is on that board. Only one of our 2 applicants has that credential, so Heather Babe, as a result, is on that list.
Does,
Jonna Hudson,
does she have prescribing?
we're checking,
I think she does.
We have,
Oh, I think.
Jess might comment on it here later. She's checking to see Jonna's availability and ability to fill that role, but we haven't heard back from Iowa Department of Public Health.
I noticed one thing, I'm just looking at these things, is Dr. Babe is from Farragut, which is in Page County. I didn't know if that, Wendy here lives in Page County and then Florinda's her business. One thing I noticed, they both seem very qualified, so.
Okay, Conservation Board, we had 3 applications, I believe.
Or you make a recommendation on,
Pardon me?
you can make a recommendation.
Oh,
I'll make a recommendation that we appoint Heather Babe to the Board of Health, Page County Public Board of Health.
is that a motion then?
I make a motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
I would like to wait and see if that other lady has it, just on the basis of one of them living in the county.
As chairman, I'll invoke my right under the code. I'll second the motion so we can get a vote.
Could we not find that out? You're not interested in finding out if we have somebody?
Heather Babe has served.
She's good, I like her.
She's very good.
I'm just, we have somebody from the
And
county
we'll-
applied,
Huh?
somebody from the county applied that's qualified, that's the only reason I'm.
Somebody
And
yeah.
that lives in the county,
But at this point, we don't have a ruling back from the Board of Public Health on Jonna Hudson's credentials. So we have a motion and a second on the floor, and now any other discussion? So you wanna?
I think it's just nice that somebody turned in an application that's a 20-year health professional. She's got 20 years, she's a doctor, chiropractor, or whatever, that's pretty serious, so. Just be nice for the person taking the time to see if we had just, being, she is a Page County resident, that would mean something, I would think. I hate to lose Heather Bates, though, I'm not trying, I don't want to lose her either, so.
Who is this?
Wendy
Meyer is the applicant, chiropractor.
Yeah, and then I just reading over this, says St. Francis Hospital and Iowa City Lab Tech, and the chiropractor for 20 years.
M-I-E-R, yeah.
This would seem, I don't know how the code reads if somebody from the county applies, if that matters. I mean, they live in Page County.
I don't
Page
think
County
it-
Board of Health kind of makes sense.
Doesn't address it.
Doesn't.
I don't believe, not that I saw.
All right,
We
did
have a
anybody
motion.
reach out to, I never reached out to these people like Carl, I thought he worked here, but I never got a hold of him. Did anybody check with? She's listed him as a reference. I wasn't able to call anybody on that list.
Well, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on Heather Babe?
Could you repeat the motion?
Yeah, the motion was, to reappoint Heather Babe to the Board of Public Health for a 3-year term. Any other discussion?
Is there any reason this needs to be done this minute? On that, just to find that out.
Well,
Because I would vote, depends how I vote.
Oh, okay. Well, we've traditionally done it. I don't know if the code says we have to do it today, but as we head into budgets, Heather Babe has served
Yes.
and is serving very well.
Yeah.
And we have no problems. Now, there'll be openings in the board, future openings and that happens from time to time. Somebody will apply, they don't get it the first time, they'll reapply.
I just don't want to have a resident, Page County qualified resident, me tell them I didn't vote for him because
Okay, well, then you
No, we have
can
to
go
have-
on record as saying you don't, but I want to call for a vote.
if we have a, qualified Page County resident, that's what.
And Wendy, and I know Wendy, I lived across the street from her grandfather for years, very good friends with the Meyer family.
Right.
Wendy is competent, it's not.
Right, she's totally, that's what, by reading the resume, I see that, so. By reading the resume, that's what I see.
Yeah.
That's where kind of like to know if Jonna had, maybe it'd be nice, I'd never asked Heather, I'd like to call her too, so maybe she'd like a break. Did anybody ask her if she wanted a break?
Who, Heather Bay?
Yeah, that she's so busy, I mean, she might enjoy a break if she knew there was somebody else competent.
Well, we got an application, so we'll assume she, is interested in the job.
You know,
Any other discussion? All right, I'd call for a vote. Let's roll call, please. Heather Babe is the appointee, is the question.
Motion was,
Sorry, wasn't on. On a motion by Armstrong, seconded by Morris, the board, is looking at approving Heather Bates to the Board of Health. Armstrong,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Holmes,
on the basis we have a Page County resident running, no.
motion carries 2-1.
Okay, Conservation Board, the name we have is Bill or William Robinson, who currently serves. We have James Stimson, who has applied. We have, Mark Merritt, who has applied. Am I missing somebody?
Steve Rubin.
Oh, yeah, Steve Rubin.
Steve works, co-owner of Brenda Flower Shop and Custom Woodworking.
Okay. Well, Bill's been a good member. Here's my concerns with Bill. When we appointed Bill a year ago, Bill was not a member, an employee of the conservation. After we appointed him, he was hired, and I don't think that's proper.
Conflict.
I believe it's conflict. As a result, I wouldn't advocate for Bill. Do I hear a motion for any of those others after looking at the resumes?
sorry, could you repeat roll like one more time?
Oh, at Mark Merritt, Jane Stimson, and Mr. Rubin, Steve Rubin. Steve Rubin?
Oh, Steve Rubin.
Yeah.
Now, Bill is just a part-time summer employee, is that correct?
I think that is correct, that he's a part-time. And, but the problem is I see it, that's where the bulk of their hours come is during,
Mhm.
that season. And then he's answering to a guy that, he has a vote in the,
Mhm. Mhm.
in his evaluation, his salary, et cetera, is just not proper, in my view. And Bill's done a good job, man. It's nothing against Bill. Bill's a good board member, he's a good employee. But, if he's unwilling, if he wants to do both, I can't condone him being on the board and an employee.
It kind of makes sense.
But, and we have some good applications. I know James Simpson had, forwarded a request for the Board of Conservation to review. I don't think they've acted on it for a roadside park at the county farm. She's a lifelong resident, has a good resume. Bill has, Steve Rubin has a nice resume, as does Mark Merritt.
Right.
So we've got good, I think, good candidates. So I'd, if you want Bill, let's have a motion, whoever you guys want, let's vote.
They all look pretty good. It's not hard.
Do you think Bill would consider not being an employee if he were, or do you think that's something he needs to do? Have you talked to John about that?
I have not. Other than I expressed that I didn't think it was appropriate. And at that time, Bill was there and made no offer to say, well, if I'm appointed, I'd quit my job. So I got no sense of that. Sure. And frankly, if you have summer work and the ability to make money, why would you do a volunteer?
Right. Well, I know Mark is very involved. He's also from that same market area of Essex. I'd make a motion that we appoint Mark Marriott to the board.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Well, my only thing is,
Can we have a
Oh, sorry.
second and then we can discuss it?
okay, second.
All right, you got a second. All right, so what's your concern?
I think Mark would do a good job too. Knowing Jane, I just know she is big into nature. I mean, big, and I think we all know that, big into nature. I think that would be right up her alley. I know Mark would do a good job too, so I don't know. I just know that she really gets into the way things look. Her place out there is a flower trail extravaganza, so it's, I don't know, I would,
Well, I think, with regard to the Board of Conservation, over the last 5 years, we've had a fair amount of turnover. So for those who have shown an interest, and if you don't get appointed today, don't be discouraged, because it seems like of all the boards we have, that one turns over more than
The
any
most.
other. Has nothing to do with guns and horses, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
Well, we have a motion. Was there any other concern? We have a motion for Mark Marriott.
Look up how many men and women we have now currently. I know we try to keep it,
Gender balanced.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the state really pushes for that, and
Right now, we've got Kathy, Jordan, Holly Martin, Tom Johnson, Kevin Christensen. Is Kevin still on it? No,
no,
no.
that was Bill's.
Yeah, Bill, and then who's the fifth one then? I don't have an up to date.
Tom, well, did you
No,
mention?
Tom Johnson, Holly Martin, Kathy Jordan, Bill, who's our fifth?
Becky Meyer.
Yeah, Becky Meyer.
Becky Meyer.
So we probably need you've got 3 women, you probably need a man on there for gender balance. That'd be my only, I think that's what I was thinking about, why we had Bill before. Yeah. So, Holly will be coming up at some point in time pretty quick, so that will be a good opening for Jane if she's still interested.
Okay, we have any other discussion? Hearing none, I'd call for the vote. We have a motion by Armstrong, second by Holmes for Mark Merritt as an appointee to the Conservation Board, 5-year term to 2025. Any other comments? If not, please roll call it.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Holmes,
yes.
SWIPCO, AJ Lyman, 1-year term. Now give us some background. AJ, as city manager, does he automatically get looked at?
He's on the SWIPCO board, yes. Yeah.
But we have to appoint.
I would assume we'd have to appoint him each year,
Okay.
and he's the city manager is automatic on that, I believe.
Okay.
So we have number that.
So can we get an agreement that AJ is fine and move on?
I don't
Can
know.
we agree that there's no need to vote on that? Okay, Elaine Farwell, Western Iowa Tourism Rep. Elaine and I think Mary Moranville's on that board. Did we have any other applications?
We didn't have any.
I didn't see any.
So what was it for
The Western Iowa Tourism Board, which,
I don't have anything from that.
so Elaine, can we just agree that that's a good appointment?
Yep.
Fiscal year? Yes. So it's a 2-year appointment. Then let's get to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. We had a flurry of activity on Friday, and
Elaine Farwell.
Elaine Farwell, sorry. So, we've got the incumbent Jim O'Hara. We've got Myron Sunderman. We've got Kalen Falk. We have Dale Falk and Jesse Stimson. Did I miss anybody?
1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah. Oh, you say Ross Farwell?
Oh, no, I didn't. Ross Farwell. His application came in about a month ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, it's great to see all the interest.
Yep, that's right.
So entertain a motion and then we can discuss.
Now, I talked to Jim O'Hara last night.
Did you?
And I don't know him, but he's been on there a long, long, long time, like 40 years, actually, like maybe longer. I was on there with Clark Crawford and stuff, like way back. Sounded like a pretty nice guy. The only thing I can think about all this is there with all this interest, we take advantage of getting somebody younger starting to go with this thing, being trained by older people. You know, they're on there. It's the only thing I can think. Or somebody else to take a minute.
Well, I made a call to Jim too, and I said, Jim, are you interested? You know, because you have been doing it a long time. He said, yeah, I'd really like to do it again. So that's what he told me. I don't know if you asked him that question or not.
I didn't ask him that. I just asked him how long he'd been doing it. And when he said that, it's been a long time. I think he had like over 40 years when he actually. It's a long time.
That board does have a lot of experience.
Yeah, George is on
George has
there.
been on there a long time.
So it'd be good to let some of the people train some other people. Or diversify things a little bit, just mix it up or not, I don't know.
Well, entertain a motion, Jacob, if you got a motion.
The deepest resume on here is probably Dale Folk, of the people that are the older people.
Okay, is that a motion?
I motion
Dale Fulton,
Dale Folk.
okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
You wanted to roll call that, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. Armstrong,
No.
Morris,
No.
Holmes,
Yes.
Okay, we have another appointee or?
I'll make a motion to appoint Jim O'Hara for another 5-year term.
Do I hear a second? Chairman will second. Any other discussion?
Well, I guess not.
Okay. Roll call, please.
sorry, I can't type that fast. Armstrong,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. JD left. Oh, no, JD, we don't have any choice on that, do we? On the zoning administrator.
Well, you can find somebody else, that's not a problem.
Mhm.
All right,
No.
then we have number 10 and the other one, number 12, thank you. Number 10 and 12 are taken care of. The rest of those, can I have a motion to approve?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept all the resolutions with the corrections made during discussion of 1 through 12.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Holmes on the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Okay, we're running a little bit behind. I haven't looked to see if Jess is here. Are you with us, Jess?
I don't see her unless she's a 402.
Okay, we'll come back to Jessica COVID update if she joins us here in a minute. Let's move on, close to on time for the engineer update.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Given that this is a Monday meeting, I didn't send the update out last evening. I'll send it out when I get it done here.
Excuse me.
We are not hauling rock. The blades are,
Excuse me, could you put your mask on, please? Thank you.
we are blading into districts. They're out cleaning up intersection, working on the washboards, and the roads are washboardy in spots. And this afternoon with a little sun, they'll be sloppy on the top. That's what happens when you have 35 degrees in January, but we're not complaining. I do have crews burning brush. We'll hopefully get back to brush cutting later in the week. We'll haul sand Tuesdays. The sand pit is open Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I think this is the function of the holidays. Last weekend, we're a little short of crew today. Motor grader number 8's in the shop for an injector replacement. Ziegler guy will be down. We're cycling the trucks in that were pushing snow last week. And we have some pickup through services, including the one I drive. Yesterday evening, the fiscal year 22 budget, county budget was submitted to the auditor. I want you to know that I have requested a max transfer in rural basic and general basic. Of course, there's a little humor with the auditor there when she gets done laughing at that, request. We'll get on with work. I think there's a legitimate and cogent reason we have for asking for more money from the board. We'll have that discussion. I'm working on the fiscal year 21. In other words, the current budget year. I'm working on the amendment for that. It'll be a challenge given the magnitude of local construction, both bridge and culvert, and then they got the whole EWP stuff that's reimbursed from two different agencies, and the county is picking up 15%. So I'm working on that. My techs are checking to see what work's going on site. 10, they're moving equipment off of 10 up to 9. 10 should be cleaned up for minor work there. And number 9 is the 12th project out of the 12 we're working on. Cunningham Reese, a small bridge contractor from Van Meter, is down on G Avenue north of Norwich. A road notification went out. That road is closed between 202nd and 190th for a little stretch there. They are going to pound some piling at the piers and weld and such, and then the county crews will replace the steel deck. T13, yes. It's on G Avenue, but T13 is the local bridge ID. We're also continuing to project development on B61. It's a bridge on 280th Street in Buchanan Township over Buchanan Creek. And in concert with the county budget, the DOT budget program is coming up in the next month. The other stuff with the DOT, and we submitted a P8 for the county bridge construction fund. We should find out what county was selected here in the next month or two. We can be hopeful, but not real hopeful. There's other candidates. It's our best bridge for the program, but that doesn't mean it's the best candidate in the state. Any questions for me?
When will you know that then, JD, again? I'm sorry.
I think in January, they come out with a result of who was selected for the county bridge stuff.
Okay.
And that was what you selected at least 61 for that?
No, the B61 is just a regular bridge. P8 was submitted for the county bridge construction fund.
Question? I gotta read you a text I got Saturday evening. Heading from Stanton to Clarinda. The Stanton Road, horrible till we hit the Page County line. Thank you for cleaning it all. That was from Alan Spencer.
Well, thank you all.
Compliment, yeah. I was worried where I was going.
Yeah, because I remember somebody played a voicemail once and it was not good.
Yeah, I had one question on, and I can't remember which day, and I sent a note to Jeff and you, and Jeff responded back and he said he double checked it. He thought they just had gotten it done. So I never heard back from the lady, so I assume it was correct. So,
Okay, I'll pass that on to the Stanton Road guys.
no calls at all from me. So,
I had one guy talk to me about, I can't think of the roads, right over the bluff on 2, going north, the gravel road going north, said the snow was real wavy. I don't know.
Which road is this?
I don't know the number of the road. It's when you go over the bluff.
Where's over the bluff?
Well, the one on 2.
Where's over the bluff?
I need a map
Page?
out here. On Highway 2 going east, sorry, and going north. I'll figure the road out and talk to you about it. Somebody did talk to me about that. I don't know, just acting like they were maybe too big a hurry to blame the snow or something, but I don't know what could be done about it exactly. But
Yeah, we have.
I'll figure out.
We
what it
have
was.
problem roads, yeah, I can't respond unless I know a
Yeah,
road.
right, I understand.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, thank you, JD. Okay,
uh-oh.
I think, Jess, if you'd unmute, we're gonna go to you next. We missed you at 9 and we'll squeeze you in here, but stand by. I think JD and Melissa need to take care of some business.
You might send her a note. She hasn't unmuted yet. Chuck, you may want to send her a note. Oh, she did. She did.
Okay, so Jess, you were on. Good morning to you. And I think we threw Jess for a loop with the Monday meeting instead of a Tuesday meeting, but good to have you. What is your COVID update, please?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Yep, sorry about that. I thought the meeting was tomorrow. So far today we've had 1,739 cases with 1,675 of those recovered, 15 deaths. We are seeing a spike in our 14-day positivity rating again. We are up to 17.2. We've been kind of hanging out at that 12 to 14 mark. but today we are seeing a little bit of a spike. I'm guessing probably just from the holidays gatherings. We are still working on vaccinating the healthcare professionals in the community. Both hospitals have done a great job at doing their staff. I think this week they may be done doing their staff. We at the public health office have done 123 vaccines so far, with another 60 scheduled today. And then we are doing our final healthcare worker vaccine clinic on the 11th. We still don't know when we're going to be able to start the next phase. There's some rumor about who can get vaccinated in the next phase. We aren't really going to know for sure until IDAC gives us the go ahead on that, or when we can even start it. So, but it sounds like it might include teachers. It might include some of those essential workforce, the law enforcement, fire department, so on and so forth. So we're hoping to get some more guidance with that. We do have a call with the state tomorrow, so hopefully we'll have some more information then. And hopefully we'll have some more information soon on when we will get to go into phase 1B. We are getting a lot of phone calls from people in the community wanting to be put on a list. We are not doing a list. We aren't there yet. We're still working on phase 1A. And then once we get phase 1A completed, then we'll move on to phase 1B and figure out how we're going to do that. Depending on who CDC and IDAC says we can vaccinate will depend on if we're just going to do the clinics here in the office, or if we're going to need to open our public pods. If it's a mass amount of people, we can't really do that here in the office. At that point, it's public health taking over. They're not going to do them at the hospitals, but the hospital's going to give us staff to help at our pod locations. So it's just going to be a group effort between the three of us, the two hospitals in the community, and the public health department. You guys have any questions for me?
You were vaccinated as part of the front line. Do you have any comments about what it was like? I know there's some trepidation about whether or not to get the vaccine. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, so we haven't seen really too much locally. Nationally, there are a few side effects, pretty minor. I haven't heard of anything major. More, injection site redness, swelling. You might run a little low-grade fever for a few days afterwards. Nothing too major. We are staying away from people who have had severe reactions to immunizations in the past. CDC is recommending that let's hold off until we know some more about this if you've had severe reaction. But as far as me, I had no reaction. I got mine a week ago today, and everything seems fine.
Okay, great. Question?
I just wonder about the numbers because I don't understand. You can help me out here. So there's 64 or so positive people have tested positive right now in Page County, basically, at this moment. I mean, I know
I'm
you don't
sorry,
feel-
Jacob, I can't hear you. What'd you say?
There's, I think, around 64 people that have had a positive test at the moment. How long is it before you're considered recovered until you have a clear test, then you get off the list?
No, we
How does that work?
actually don't recommend people getting a second test because you can show positive for up to 3 months afterwards. But that does not mean you're contagious. It just means that you have the antibodies in your system.
So many days.
So it's generally 10 days, unless you have a severe reaction, or if you still have symptoms after that 10 days, then we recommend continuing isolation. We do three days at a time until you're completely recovered. Now, completely recovered is not 100% symptom free, because we do have symptoms that will linger for quite some time.
But they wouldn't be contagious then? So-
Right.
Okay, so 64 within 10 days roughly, people right now in the county.
Right.
That's why I was wanting to figure out how that worked. Thank you.
Well, excuse me, while we're on the topic of public health, I think it'd be appropriate to ask Mr. Holmes at this time we have a mask mandate in the state of Iowa by the governor. We have a mask mandate here in the courthouse.
I couldn't find it. I've looked for that policy.
It's on the door. So just explain, if you would, please, why you choose not to wear a mask when the county has required a mask in the courthouse.
Well, I work in the hallway. I'm in my workspace now, and we could play a video I've got already from December 15th, when you don't carry full from the library, and all librarians, it's fine to take their mask off in here when they're talking. Would you like to play that? And you said when 6 foot.
You can play it if you like. I'm asking you if you would explain why you are not wearing a mask. I mean, what's your rationale?
I don't have a policy to follow, so I'm following the silent door. It doesn't clarify when you're eating or not eating, which about a week ago, whenever we have a comp board meeting, everybody's up there eating with their mask on. I'm in my workspace, 6 feet from you, and I thought it would be fine talking and working and be fine here. I don't know that I'm endangering, but the governor's proclamation, we can read right here, the simple paragraph. Use of mask or face coverings indoors says that Iowa Department of Public Health, unless otherwise modified by subsequent proclamation, order the state of Iowa Department of Public Health. I continue this order until 11:59 on January 8th, 2021. All people 2 or older must wear a mask or face covering when inside an indoor space that is open to the public, and within 6 feet of individuals who are not members of their household for 15 minutes or longer. So I've not went outside those requirements. It also says any person working alone or working in a space where 6 feet of physical distance can be maintained, or the person is otherwise able to avoid prolonged contact with individuals outside their household. They're exempt from it. Any person giving a religious, political, media, educational, artistic, cultural, musical, theatrical presentation or performance for an audience. So being I'm well within that in my workspace, I don't see the need for it. I'm not endangering anybody.
Okay, thank you. All right, it's 9:32. Let's go on to Wendy. Wendy, good morning. She is from West Central Development in Harlan. She is one of my favorite people because she's a Missouri Tiger.
That's right. Go Tigers. Thank you, Chuck. So good morning. First of all, I just want to thank you for letting me participate this morning via Zoom. That's very helpful. I would also like to thank you for your continued support. It really allows us to provide services in Page County at the highest level. I would really like to thank Alan for being on our board of directors. He does a great job and he provides a great amount of support. So I want to thank him for that. So you do have the packet of information in front of you, correct? Okay, great. So I'm just going to go through this briefly and share with you the services that we provided in Page County during fiscal year 20. So we served 685 households, which consisted of a little over 1,500 individuals. Of those households that we served, 41% were single person households. 54% had an income that was 100% or below of the federal poverty guideline, and 56% were on a fixed monthly income. 45% were between the ages of 18 and 59 years of age. So if we move on to page 3, which starts to talk about the services that we provided, we have Head Start, which promotes, as you know, school readiness goals for children ages 3 to 5. We did operate 4 Head Start classrooms in Page County, located in Clarinda and Essex. Those are with school partnerships, and they served a total of 16 children. We also have the Early Head Start program, which provides support to low-income infants, toddlers, and pregnant women and their families. We operate a home-based Early Head Start program in Page County, and that served a total of 6 children. On page 4, the CCR program, which is Child Care Resource and Referral, that really works with home providers who are registered and ones that want to become registered, as well as child care centers to really participate in our quality rating system, which really improves the overall care children in those settings. So there were 21 childcare programs with a capacity of 745 spaces listed with CCRNR, and 6 of the 10 development homes were participants in that QRS system, and 3 of the 8 centers or preschools were also QRS participants. We have the Child and Adult Care Food Program, or CACFP, which really promotes good nutrition, positive eating habits for children who are in registered home child care facilities, home daycare settings. And we had 140 children who were enrolled at 8 homes. We also had weatherization, which really helps low-income households increase their overall energy efficiency and decrease their home utility bills. And we serviced 11 households for over $112,000 in Page County this past year. The next page talks about our low-income heating energy assistance program, or LIHEAP. We had 570 households who received utility assistance for a total of almost $270,000. We also provide ESIP, or crisis payments, which really help with disconnect, service continuity, and we can also use it for furnace repair and replacements. We assisted 66 households for over $28,000. We also received CARES ESIP through the Federal CARES Program, which assisted an additional 33 households for almost $21,000. We had the Senior Employment Program, who works with people over 55 or older in job training opportunities. We had 2 participants in Page County, and both of those participants worked at our outreach office there in Shenandoah. The next page talks about the Family Development and Self-Sufficiency Program, or FADS, and that program really works with families who are on FIP. It provides intense case management to really help those families move along the continuum and provide, get them on the right track to self-sufficiency. We assisted 11 families in Page County. This year, we were also able to offer a rent and mortgage assistance program through the CSBG CARES supplemental grant. Clients needed to be at least 200% or below the federal poverty guideline, and they could qualify for up to 3 months of rent or mortgage assistance. And we assisted 29 households for almost $40,000 with that fund. Page 7 just shows the breakdown of the program dollars or value that go directly to clients or local vendors in your area, which totaled $974,000. And page 8 talks about the administrative and delivery costs. And we say we're doing our job if we can keep the admin costs under 5 and delivery under 20. And we did accomplish both of those things this year. And the last page is just a summary. And as you can see, over $1.2 million worth of services were provided by West Central Community Action to Page County residents. And I also want to say how extremely pleased I was how we have adapted to the changes due to COVID-19 and continued to provide vital services to clients in the community. And Linda Ash does a great job, as you know, servicing Page County and our outreach offices. And again, on behalf of myself, the employees and board of directors, thank you so much. And we are seeking the same amount as last year, which is $3,500.
All right, Wendy, thank you very, very much. And did Alan send you a check for those kind words? I hope he did.
No, he did not. No, he did not. So, but we thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. And thanks for joining us. I know we had a little confusion on schedule, and
No
appreciate
problem.
you being bright-eyed for us this morning. Thank you so
No
much.
problem. No problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Uh-huh.
So Alan, you've seen the metamorphosis of that
Oh,
group. It's gone light years.
in my 3.5 years, it's just amazing the positives that come out of West Central for the whole area district. It's just wonderful. She's done a wonderful job. We were blessed to have her waiting in the wings for that position. So I was glad to be a part of that. So.
Okay. So this letter of support, we could move it up. We could do that. We're a little bit ahead of schedule. Did you guys have any edits on those, on that letter?
I thought so fine if
Okay.
everybody was happy with it.
Let me print that and we'll get signatures. This letter for the people tuning in, it's to support both the Shenandoah and Clarinda Economic Development organizations in their quest to obtain some funding from SWIPCO to put together programs for our small businesses in Page County, which have been negatively impacted by COVID. This first round will be a grant for the administrative fees, put that together of about $20,000 between the two. So let me find that letter, I'll get it printed and we'll get it signed. And Alan, would you mind delivering the letter to Greg Connell?
Sure.
And I can, or Jacob, it doesn't matter, one of us can deliver it over to Elaine. Let's see.
Is it Elaine or Amy?
Or, yeah, Amy, I'm sorry, Amy, yeah, thank you. Okay, let's see, sent. Find it here.
Now, it's very nice to see those two work together so efficiently on this and get it done, get things started.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. There's a lot of money. There's $400,000 to $500,000 that are sitting out there for the counties they serve, so.
Pardon? I'll make a motion to approve the economic development letter of support.
I'll second that. Okay, got a motion, we got a second. All in favor?
It's up to $20,000 for the county.
Yeah, but it's just, it's a support saying that we're partners with both of those organizations. So, let's see. Oh,
Yeah, we're
Corey,
not-
I'm gonna give this to you to print, or Melissa, because it's faded here.
You're kind of the switch go.
Here's the letter to John McCurdy.
This is a letter of support Page County Supervisors to SWIPCO on behalf of the two area economic development agencies. That was one of the requirements that they needed our support.
So should I send this to you or to Corey to print up there? Pardon me? Oh, you do? Can you print 2 copies for me that we can sign and take? Thank you. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. There you go, Jacob. Hey, Jacob, when you go to Golden Hills, grab some of those blue pens.
You got my pen?
So is this the Shenandoah or just the Florida?
Shenandoah and Clarinda.
Yeah.
Both economic development.
Shenandoah Chamber and Industry Association and Clarinda Economic Development Corporation. There you go. We are going to move up the township clerks and trustees. None of them are
So
going to be attending.
the 945 is the same thing as what we just did, unless you had something, because that was what I sent to you, or maybe I didn't send it to you. What's 9:45? What have you got that on this agenda for?
I thought the chambers were coming to do that, are they not?
No,
No.
no, this is,
Okay,
yeah, so it basically is the same thing.
okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
What,
You had said something else on the-
yes, what happened was SWIPCO sent to me the letter stating that he needed involvement by both or one of the, to make sure that they're working together. And that's what I originally, I think it sent to you, just letting you know we need to talk about it. And then the letter, once all of a sudden those two did work together and let us know that they were putting together their information, and that's why we did this. Okay. So one of these I'll take to
To Greg,
Greg,
and I'll
and-
take this to Wendy, or
Okay.
to Amy.
Amy, yeah.
Okay. All right, and the township clerks and trustees are 10:15. We're gonna, unless you guys object, move them. None of them are gonna show up. I have spent part of the last 3 weeks contacting people on reappointments. And did Christie provide you a finished list yet this morning?
I think it was just basically the one you had already given us, but it was like the Colfax, Mark Slough, Douglas, Ronald Allen, Douglas Johnson,
I'll have,
East River, Dwayne Hartsteck, Cam Hartsteck.
Yeah, that's the ones
Is
that
that
were,
the one you're referring to?
yeah,
and that's this, I think, Chuck.
Grant, Bernard,
They're
Fisher,
highlighted.
Lyle Palmer, Harlan, Marvin Rent, Brian Brockman, Russell Hersberg, Clerk, Lincoln, Gary Huseman, Keith Huseman, Morton, Donald Nelson, Pat Athan,
Yep.
Nebraska, Seth Kirschner, Jeff Fetterberg, Nottaway, John Hersberg, Doyle Wagner, Pierce, Donald Wooden, Donald Holmes, Tarkio, Steve Burning, Bill Annan, Aaron Linke, Clerk, Valley, James Elenius, Jeremy Roberts, and Washington, Ronald Say,
yes,
and Troy Edwards.
Troy, yes.
And then Fremont, it was still a question on if Reggie Carlson had been.
Well, because the date, we had some turnover, and I don't know if Reggie's term may, all four of those may expire in 2022. That's what we're unsure about.
Okay.
So I didn't call Reggie because it was missing, and so we kind of think there was quite a bit of turnover there a couple of years ago, and we think that, Chrissy seemed to think that all four of those may go in 2022. Did you see the list? Did you have, okay, let's, here, get a copy for Jacob.
So in these ones that they appoint, because I'm from down where we still do elections,
Yeah, you and,
how do you get and Buchanan, is that right?
yeah, you and Buchanan, Anthony and Buchanan.
How does that work? You have to go out and just find people, or how do you?
Pretty much, and it's getting harder and harder. And I know that we've had on the ballot for the last several years to ask if Anthony Buchanan would allow us to appoint, but you guys want to elect, and that's fine. But typically what happens is people will give us a name of who they want us to appoint, who's willing to serve. And, you know, these township boards are like everything else. You know, find it harder to find people to step up. And
I'm on one, so I know.
I know
what it
that,
is.
well, and you've got the bulk of the work. as
I'm the clerk.
Yeah, so you really earn your money.
Yeah.
What do we pay township clerks? Is it $30 a year? Do you know?
$15 a meeting.
$15 a meeting, and that's been in force for the last 15 to 20 years. And at budget time, can we take a look at maybe,
Now, we have apple pie too.
Oh,
We
yeah.
do it generally, so that's worth at least $15 more. And ice cream.
No, then maybe I want to be a clerk.
Yeah, maybe you want to come down there and be clerk.
so yeah, it's in townships where you have a fire district and or a cemetery, there's a lot more work.
Yeah, it's,
So we appreciate, we've had several who did not want to re-up, and I understand, we appreciate your service. And thank goodness we still have people willing to step up.
Right.
But that's that's the list. And the chairman gets the duty of calling all these people, and which is fine. You get to reconnect with people you haven't maybe talked with in a long time, but you earn a significant amount of your chairman's fee.
Yeah, I bet,
Track people
yeah.
down because nobody has phone numbers.
It's hard to find people's phone numbers, it is.
So I've tried to update the phone numbers as I've accrued them to get them into our system, but. So, if we could, let's go ahead and have a motion to approve, well, once you've had a chance to read, to approve the township clerks and trustees.
Everybody stayed on that was there.
Not quite. We had a couple that were, for health reasons, not able to serve. But the vast majority of the people, were, allowed us to reappoint them. So that's good. There are some new names in there, and for those newbies, we appreciate your support. In fact, probably the toughest one was, Harlan. You know, Gene Ripley passed away, and then two of the members did not want to serve again. So we had one remaining individual, and it's a big year because Harlan Township's taking delivery on a fire truck here in June or July. So anyway, John Van Fossen is going to teach Russ Herzberg the clerk duties. Russ has stepped up to do that.
Yeah.
So that's good. So anyway, entertain a motion to approve those.
I motion.
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
all right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. So what, Melissa, do we send out letters beyond the conversations? I mean, is there any swearing in or any official duty or process? Okay. So, okay. Okay. All right. Well, if you'd make a note that come budget time, let's talk about looking at that $15 stipend. Because I think in talking with one of the older trustees who've been on there a number of years, it's only been in the last 10 or 15 years that they've received payment. None of them do it for a payment, but as it gets tougher to find people, might want to do an inflation fudge. Okay. So the grant funding in Page County pass-through is listed at 1020. Would there be anybody here reasonably that we could expect would be here? Can we just roll with it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you want to lead that discussion, please?
So basically, we received word on the last day of the year, and it was that the county and the Page County Fair had been considered and received funding. Potentially, if the board is willing to accept it and be a pass-through for the fair, because the fair, with their guidelines, they had to fall through specific entities. So in the past, we've been a pass-through for certain entities that need that, governmental tie-in. So they had reached out to us to see if we could do that for them, but it is the Omaha Foundation, and they are extending a $10,000 grant for the Sheriff's Department, and as well a $60,000 grant for the Page County Fair, and then as well, it's just,
Jess is here.
yep, I think that Public Health is also receiving funding as well. So basically, from my discussion with the lady, she had said that they were basically looking at entities that have had a hardship during COVID-19 and were extending funding to those organizations.
So 60,000 for the Page County Fair, 10,000 for the Sheriff's Department. And Jess, do you remember the amount from Public Health? She might be on another call. You think it's 25 grand? Okay. So has the Omaha Community Foundation ever done anything like this in Page County?
Well, it's actually through from the Bob Holmes family
Oh,
is where it's going through the Omaha
I
Foundation,
see.
correct? Yes.
oh, okay.
So they've been very generous to the area, Page County, over the last year and a half. And, Bob was very much a part of Page County, a very good supporter, and his family have carried that tradition on with, the trust and our giving to many different entities. So,
Okay. Well, that's very generous.
yes, it is.
So, do we need to draft any sort of letter in just the minutes of our meeting approving it? Will that?
I basically, my conversation with her, she basically just wanted it approved that you guys would accept these grants.
And it's not an issue for auditing for the Affairs Department to do this and to do it as a pass-through. There's no questions or concerns that you have.
I don't think so. I think the main thing is she just wanted us to approve that we would accept the grant and that we would allow for the fair that pass through. Because that was something that they really wanted. She said she knew that during COVID, the fairs had a huge impact regarding revenue. And so that was something they really wanted to do, but they needed the partnership with us to be able to do that.
Well, I would approve this. I'd make a motion to approve the grant funding and our county being part of that pass-through for this. I think it's wonderful.
Second that.
Okay, Jacob was the second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Very good, that's excellent. Okay, claims, do we have any bills to look at here this morning? Got a pile of bills, start splitting them up. Oops. Okay. The resolutions that we passed will need signatures. I'll set those off to the side. We'll deal with bills. We'll just kind of pass.
Tell me what to do here.
Okay. Take a look. If you have any questions about any of those warrants, claims, make them known.
Some you'll need to sign your name and date, some you'll want to just initial. If there's a line with a big line, then you can write out your name and date,
I see the small one just right.
initials, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just all the phone bills and everything.
Yes. And then Jacob, that Golden Hills connection, the blue pen, a lot of times, you're fine, black there, but a lot of times the auditors like you to have it in a blue. Yeah.
See about it.
As long as one of us has blue, it's not a big deal.
That's okay.
It shows up.
I might- Well,
John trained us well on that.
yeah.
So he was a good source of those pens every quarter.
he's bringing them home.
He'd bring back a bunch of them, so.
Start signing.
Yes, that'd be great. We
That's
got,
quite a phone bill, isn't it? Is that the phone bill Motorola, is that what that is?
I think, well, is that that's the,
What is Motorola?
that's for the 911 system.
Oh, okay.
For EMA. That I believe, yes, I think that's the annual, maintenance fee. And what that maintenance fee does, it guarantees the latest software so that that 911 system for 10 years will never be outdated. But it comes with a price.
Hefty price tag, yeah.
The first year, we got negotiated in where they paid for it.
Now where it says there, if we just initially buy that number, or
Yeah, just right there.
kind of buy the number there?
Yeah. And then also put a date on there with your initial, if you would, Jacob.
This top one is just for you.
Oh, okay. And then here's some more too. 16. Okay, Melissa, are these supposed to all go together here? I didn't have a paper clip on those. They're not, are they? Yeah. They are. Okay. All right, I'll use the paper clip. So you just need the top signature there.
Does she need two of these?
Do you need two of the resolutions, is that?
Okay, I'll hand that back up. That's spare. There's the first round.
There's that. Do we each have one of
This
these?
has
or
been
just-
signed by all three?
And then, I don't know if Jacob's on all those.
Yes, he
Oh,
is on
he?
that one, yeah. I put down 21 or 20.
I know it's one would be hard to remember for a while. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Jacob.
I think I wrote 20 on one, but I think I did it 20. I think I did know you said that.
You did write 20 over.
I did, now you said that, it popped in my head, I wrote 20. You're right.
It's easy to do.
There.
Okay, here you go.
These are pretty expensive mattresses they ordered.
Did you get the resolution?
That's quite a mattress, isn't it?
Right there, the resolution.
Oh, okay.
This one.
Here you go, Jacob, that resolution there.
Yeah, very expensive mattress.
Oh,
Next week, looking at budgeting, what days are you all not available?
I have every day available.
Okay,
When, are we able to start late this week or are we looking at next week?
I'm available to work, but I'm not back.
I think next week's good. This week I'm really busy, but next week should be good.
I'll have to look. I've got one day where I'm out part of the day. Okay, that's there.
What's that? I don't think so. If I go home and look, next week should be fine. I'll let you know. There's something, but I don't think so.
Here you go, those.
They're only allowing small percentage of people in, and that's why
Chili bowl?
still a risk. I want to wait for
Enough jalapenos might,
Oh,
might make, no, I'm not gonna say that might cure the COVID.
yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Let's see.
I bet a whole bunch here. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if it wasn't for this weather, it's working, it's just, you get old enough, I just don't, I want to travel in bad weather again. No, it's kind of weird, they're allowing only, I think it was, usually it's about 15,000 people in the stands, when they're selling 2,000 tickets, I got in, I've been in for 26 years now. But they're allowing the hits on basically an unlimited amount on the fourth day on. And I'm thinking, that's where I want to be anyway, and I'm not gonna go down and spend people from all over the United States, I live in California, it's the biggest place there. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think that's,
Kansas Speedway, is that where it is?
no, it's a Jelly Bowl, Tulsa.
Oh,
Indoor, then it's a indoor arena.
okay.
And it's really kind of fascinating. It's quite the deal. Think are you okay if I put dangers on this?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, also.
Okay. Here you go. They're not in order. Sorry about that.
As a pole man, it's
Yeah, I know, terrible. I'm not,
that's okay. Well,
that's the one thing I signed up for, this was check, so.
you do great things.
So are we all signed, signed, sealed, delivered, need a motion to approve the bills, approve the claims?
I'll motion to approve the claims.
I second.
Okay, motion made and seconded, approve the claims as presented. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, I skipped public comment. I apologize. So do we have any public comment here this morning?
Chuck,
Yes, who do we have there, please?
Margaret Stoldorf, how are you?
Good, Margaret. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Would you confirm to me that you're holding a public meeting?
Yes, we are holding a public meeting.
I was disconnected from Zoom, disconnected from audio. I tried to regain access and I have not been able to do so. At 10:01, I'm sorry, at 9:59:30, I was reconnected on Zoom and then disconnected again at 10:01. I want to know why.
IT guy is here, but I'm not sure why. We have two others, 3, 4, 5 others who have been there the whole time as far as has anybody else on the line been disconnected, had similar issues? Margaret, I don't know. I can't answer that. Corey, do you have any idea?
Somebody's controlling the access.
Well, what's that? Oh, he said we've had 2 or 3 people drop on or drop off and come back on. Technology is what it is, Margaret. Nobody's intentionally disconnected you. I can assure you that, not from this room.
Well, it's odd that I was reconnected. I'm looking at a screen right now that says, please wait, the meeting host will let you in soon. And that's been up for, I guess, twice now, but up again since 10:01.
Okay. Don't have an answer for you. I know, let me count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 connections, and when I asked if anybody had a similar problem, that people have been here the whole time, so I don't know, can't answer it, I'm sure, sorry, glad you're back on. Did you have a question or public comment? Margaret?
Yeah, I didn't hear you, Chuck.
Oh, okay. I'm sure sorry for the inconvenience, but I can assure you that nobody here disconnected you intentionally. Do you have a public comment or a question? We do want to thank you for your suggestion on the Pledge of Allegiance, by the way.
Fine, thank you.
Chuck, I have a comment.
Yes.
I'd like to ask, would you repeat your statement about the payment for the township trustees and clerks?
Well, it's my understanding that I can't remember who I talked to. Somebody had been on there a long, long time, said when they started, they got no payments. And then they thought about 15 years ago. I don't have the history on it. I know that it's $15. Jacob verified that, and it's been that way for a long time. So that was
Once again, without doing research, you're repeating something that you've heard. The township trustees have been paid for many, many years. And when I started, they were getting $10 an hour or $10 a meeting, and then it switched to $15. So you need to do your research before you repeat something.
Any other public comments? Excuse me. Any other public comments? Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I did not see them.
Oh, you didn't see them?
I
Okay.
don't think so, maybe they were.
You may not have gotten them. Let's get them sent to Jacob. Yeah, so send them over to Jacob and,
I didn't think about that. Right, no, I understand. That's no big deal. I don't know if I'm, can get this turned on here. How do I do that? And I don't know if I'll be able to log into my email here if I even know the password.
maybe we can print them out.
Print them off might be easier,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay. Not yet, I will. I'm in the wrong folder. Did you find them? Okay.
Good to me.
Okay. So have a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor, say aye. 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 Motion carries. All right, motion to adjourn. Second, okay, thank you for joining us this morning.